All right, West Virginia fans, what a day. West Virginia, the football team today got a massive win. The season hasn't even started yet. We're 10 days away from the season, and the team has already gotten a win. What I mean by that is the 4 players that were fighting for an injunction got one today in court. They're eligible to play as of right now. So Jimmori Robinson, Tye Edwards, Jimmori Weimer, and Justin Harrington, as of today, are eligible to play for the West Virginia Mountaineers. This is the biggest off-season win we've had in a long time. As a West Virginia fan, we are so accustomed to bad news, and it was looking gloomy. I was ready to drop a video about the uncertain future with Jimmori Robinson, and as I'm preparing that, I see the tweet come out, and it changed everything. And I know the NCAA might try to push back on this, but as of right now, this is a massive win for West Virginia. We instantly get 4 players that are going to help the team immensely. This is massive. So in this video, we're going to go over what just transpired a few moments ago in the courtrooms. We'll talk about what these guys bring and things like that. Before we get started with all that, if you're a Mountaineer fan, please like and subscribe to the show. Let's get into the crazy, crazy day that happened today in West Virginia. So if you are seeing this, you probably heard the news. According to Sam Elrich, West Virginia District Court grants temporary restraining order and primary injunction to WVU football players Jimmori Robinson, Jimmori Weimer, Tye Edwards, and Justin Harrington, allowing them to play for the Mountaineers in 2025. So again, it says here, for the reasons above, the court will grant plaintiffs' motion for temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction. The NCAA will be enjoined from enforcing the 5-year rule as it applies to Jimmori Robinson, Jimmori Weimer, Tye Edwards, and Justin Harrington. So it says it's ordered to immediately grant West Virginia University and Jimmori Robinson, Jimmori Weimer, Tye Edwards, and Justin Harrington waivers of any NCAA eligibility rule that would preclude them from engaging in intercollegiate competition in 2025-2026 season. So even with the academic stuff, it sounds like Robinson is ready to play. It sounds like he's good to go. So I know the NCAA is going to push back on that. I know there's going to be appeals, but that takes a long time in court. So by the time that happens, the season might be nearly completed. So for right now, this is a massive win for West Virginia. I can't understate that enough. It's just a crazy day. You know, it seemed like it was another moment for West Virginia to be down in the dumps about something that they couldn't control. But right now, it just feels good. I want to almost blare Country Roads because that's how good this feels, that this is happening for us, because these guys are ballers on the field. Let's get into what they bring. So let's start off with Jimmori Weimer to start, right? 75 catches last year, over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns at Idaho State, averaged 13.5 yards per catch. He's definitely someone that can see time in this receiving room. Then you have Jimmori Robinson, the crown jewel of the offseason, the biggest portal addition that we had. 10.5 sacks last year, and he was the American Athletic Defensive Player of the Year. This guy is a pass rushing specialist. We needed him, right? There's no way to sugarcoat it. If we didn't have him, it was going to be a massive loss to your defense. Edge rushers are extremely important in football, and if you have an elite one, it's going to upgrade your defense. Could you imagine what Zach Alley can do on the defense now with Jimmori Robinson coming off of the edge? It's so massive. It's just nice that West Virginia kind of rolled the dice here, because a lot of people and a lot of information was coming out how a lot of teams might have backed off, and that's why we got him. Well, now it might work into our favor, right? At a school like West Virginia, you kind of have to do what you have to do to get elite talent, and this guy's an elite talent, right? So to have him in the fold this year is exciting, and like I said, hopefully it sticks. Then we have Tye Edwards, which is extremely massive now at Jalen Knighton not being eligible. He's probably your number 2 back, right? Look at the production last year. 159 carries, over 1,000 yards rushing, and 6 touchdowns, 6.4 yards a carry. Big physical back, has a lot of speed, put up really good numbers at Northern Iowa last year. I'm so excited to have him and Robinson back, because when I did my videos all off season of the top 5 newcomers, those guys were on the top of that list. They were on that first 5, both Edwards and Edwards and Robinson, right? So I'm just ecstatic that we're going to see these guys play. Playing NCAA football was kind of bittersweet over the last few weeks, making a play with these guys, because it's like, well, I'm not sure if they're actually going to be on the team. It was almost like that Jose Perez situation where you're excited to watch a guy play, but then he never comes. And that's what it seemed like was going to happen to these guys. And then Justin Harrington here, who, hasn't had much production on the field as of yet, but you can see his accolades when he was a high schooler in JUCO and then transferring, right? You got the 4 and 3 stars, played at Washington, played at Oklahoma, probably going to be in the race to get some playing time. So all these guys bring a lot of experience at the Division I level and can make plays. It's a massive day to be a Mountaineer. It's a massive win for West Virginia. Let's talk about, so I actually had this slide saved for when things were going to go bad. And let's just talk about some good news compared to the bad news that we've had, because being a Mountaineer fan ain't for the weak. Look about some of the stuff we've had to go through to get to this point. Dana Holgorsen leaves West Virginia to go to Houston. Now, I understand the writing was kind of on the wall. It seemed like the university was kind of done with Dana. He got us to a point where it seemed like that was the furthest we were going to go with him. But it still isn't a great look when your coach leaves you to go to a smaller conference, because at the time, Houston was not in a Power 5 or Power 4 conference. So your coach leaving to go to a smaller conference was not a good look for West Virginia, in my opinion. And since he's left, it's been a rough go in football. We haven't been ranked in the AP Top 25 since 2018. We have no signature wins over anyone that's decent. Multiple star players have entered the portal, right? Tyke Smith, Akeem Mesidor, Caden Prather. The list goes on. Daryl Porter. So many talented guys that we loved watching. Winston Wright. They all leave, right? And that's really been a tough pill to swallow for Mountaineer fans in this new era. Combine that with losing 3 out of the last 4 seasons we've started. Sorry, 3 out of the last 4 seasons we've had a losing record, right? So by year end, 3 out of the last 4 seasons we have more losses than wins. That is unacceptable as a West Virginia program and as a fan, and it's been a rough go. And then the last thing is, we started 0-1 the last 4 seasons. Playing Maryland, Pitt, Penn State, we've lost all those games, and it's hard to get momentum like that. So it's been a rough go in football especially. And then you look at basketball, it hasn't been much better. 4 coaches in the past 4 seasons. We all know what happened with Bob Huggins being forced to resign because of his issues. You had an elite portal class that we were all juiced and excited for that never came together. And that was like having a rug underneath you and having it ripped out from underneath you. That really stung. And then the all-time NCAA snub that happened last election Sunday, where you think you're a lock to get in and you didn't get in, and the joke's on us. And then after that happens, just hours later, the coach that seemed to bring the program back and heading in the right direction leaves you after 1 year to go to Indiana. It has been an extremely, extremely, extremely tough time to be a Mountaineer. There's no way to sugarcoat it. So the fact that we are getting some good news today, it just makes you feel good. And hopefully it's a sign that there are good things to come this upcoming season, because this upcoming season in both football and basketball are extremely important. Let's talk about football first, right? As I laid out, we have not been relevant in football in 6 years. The brand has taken a hit. The national media doesn't talk about us anymore. We're almost like an afterthought, and it's something that we have to acknowledge. But with this year with a new coach, we have a chance to turn that around. And I'm not going to lie, if we didn't have Robinson and Edwards, it would have almost been like a loss before the season. I would have been excited for the season, but man, you can't lie to yourself when you lose an elite pass rusher like Jimmori Robinson that's not going to have an effect on the team. So now going into the season, we have like momentum going into the season. And you get Robert Morris in Ohio and 2 winnable games before that Pitt game. I mean, this is a massive season for West Virginia football, because if Rich Rodriguez can come in this year and shock people and show that we are going to go back to our old ways of smash mouth football, Mountaineer football, people will start to change their mind about us and we can get this thing rolling again. If we struggle and we only win 4 or 5 games, it's going to be tough, because I know it's only year 1, but you brought in 70 new players, and a lot of them are redshirt seniors that are going to be out of eligibility. So we're going to have to go to the portal next year. So this is a very senior-led team. If we can't win with this team now, who says that we're going to win the year after? So I think this year we need to see glimmers of hope. We need to see a team that is ready to take on the rest of the country and show, hey, we are coming and you have to pay attention to us. So this year for West Virginia football is extremely, extremely, extremely important, because we need to get back to our swagger. 6 years is way too long to be mediocre. And we cannot have Rich Rodriguez not work. If we do another 3 or 4 years with Rich Rod and it doesn't work out, that's a decade of irrelevant football. And you do not want to have your football program irrelevant in this day and age, with NIL and with the transfer portal and with conference realignment and having a seat at the table. This is the worst time to have a bad football team. So we have to figure it out, and we have to get on the ground running right away. And this is the first step to that with today's decision. And then basketball, right? We're a proud basketball brand, but we have struggled over the last few years with the coaching changes. It seems like last year we had this thing back on track. We should have been an NCAA tournament team. We beat top 5 national level teams. We beat Kansas for the first time on the road. We beat Gonzaga for the first time in a while. And then it goes away. We need Ross Hodge to prove to people that even if you come to West Virginia in year 1, you can have success, right? And I think this guy is going to have success, and he's going to have to, right? With the roster that we have, there's no reason why this team can't make some noise and show people, right? So the basketball team has to do their part too. We need to be relevant in both football and basketball. If we're relevant in both football and basketball, it's going to improve our brand, and we're going to have a seat at the table at all times, because people are going to want to watch us play. We're going to be attracted to TV, students. It all works together. So this year is extremely important for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Comeback Player of the Year. Let's talk about this real quick. Comeback Player of the Year this year selections, Jaden Bray and Eddie V. Shout out to those guys. Hope they have big seasons. I'm expecting big things out of those guys. We're going to skip over the other stuff because today was breaking news. I'll save that stuff for another episode. Before we get off, if you're a Mountaineer fan, again, please remember to like and subscribe to Jersey Ear. This episode was a lot of fun to do. Again, it's very early in the process. There's going to be probably other tweets that come out from other journalists about this, so pay attention to that. It's very early in the process, but at least for today, as a Mountaineer fan, we can kind of breathe a little bit and celebrate a win, because that's what today brought you. So like and subscribe to the show. Another day in Mountaineer land that was crazy. It was a crazy camp. It's going to be a crazy season. Let's go Mountaineers. Have a great night.